Hello, kindergarten. It's Mrs. Durst. We have talked a lot about perspective, and perspective helps us understand an artist's painting. And so today we're going to use a piece of watercolor paper and our watercolor paints. And we're going to start a piece called Mountains and Field of Flowers. And we're going to use what we've learned about perspective to make our picture look as real as we can make it. Now, watercolor paints are wiggly and they move around and they mix and match their colors. And that is in itself part of the art. They aren't paints that stay in one place. They wiggle around and mix and gather into each other's spaces. And that's okay. All right. As you move forward in the next few years, we'll try different paints that are more stiff and they won't have this wiggly fun effect. So let's try making a mountain and a field together. And I want you to use your listening skills and pay careful attention with Mrs. Durst so that we can do this together. It should be very fun. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see what I see. So I have my cup of water, a paintbrush, and I'm using this flat kind of one. I call it flat, but it's kind of squared off. And here are my paints. And my paints are probably not exactly your paints. Honestly, the paints for you guys have not come in yet to the school. So I will use colors that you have in your paint set. How's that? That's my promise. So we want to charge up our purple with a little drop of water. We definitely want our green and our green and our blue. Okay, let's try those at first. So when we are working with perspective, we've already talked about this concept of a horizon line, okay? And we want our field to go up to about this far on our paper. Okay, I'm going to put my arm there. So from here up, we're going to create a blue sky. From here down, we're going to create a green field. The flowers will come later, but today we're creating the field. So what I'd like you to do is keep that horizon line by pulling up some of your green. I'm going to get some green going here. Woo-hoo, making paint, making paint. And I'm just going to draw a horizon line, just like that. Okay, with my green paint. Nice horizon line. Ah, not so shabby. So now what I want to do is we're going to work with water. We're going to brush on some water. I'm just brushing on water onto my watercolor paper. And I'm going to bring down some of this color so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just brushing water onto this part of my picture. Okay. This will help my watercolors move for me. I know it sounds like it's living, but it's called moving. So get some more green and let's work in our field. Okay. Now, a field, when we look across it, has dark spots and light spots. So what I'd like you to do is just get in some squiggles of green, okay, throughout this part of it, down here near the field, okay? And I love this green color, it's gorgeous. But I'm also now gonna rinse out my brush and grab some yellow, okay? Yellow makes green, and yellow makes green brighten. Okay, so I'm going to brush in a little bit of yellow throughout my field because we're making a mountain field. So we know that in the mountains, often our fields are a little yellow because we don't get a ton of rain here in the mountains. We get very little rain. When I was growing up in Ohio, there were lots of storms and lots of rain. So it's a little different here in the mountains. So I'm brushing in some yellow into my field. Okay. And really see how this paint just moves along wherever it wants to go almost. You can control it sort of, but it really likes to blend and become friends with the other color. And that's the idea with this. I'm gonna bring this dark green down a little. I'm gonna blend this in a little. And I love this field already. Okay, so you're noticing I'm trying to be very professional, and I'm trying to bring in color to all the white spots. Now, when you go to the art show or to the museum, I promise you, you're not going to see a lot of blank white paper. So that means you need to take it out to the edge. That's why, if you're at school, we work on a mat so that we can brush our strokes right over the edge and get that white paper fixed up. Okay, we don't like to see a lot of white scriggly doos. All right, or scribblies. All right, so I'm gonna bring this up to you. There is my watercolor green and yellow field. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna rinse a lot. Rinsey, rinse, rinse, rinse. And we always have a rag or paper towel. And oh, see, my brush is nice and clean. That makes me so happy. So we're turning our paper over. Now that we've built our field, we are going to build our sky. So we're going to take our blue. And the blue in our paint sets is, oh, so powerful. So really put some serious water into your blue paint pan, because this is not baby blue. This is raw, heavy duty blue. So you're going to put some blue on there and you're going to move it around. And I love the streaks. I love when the sky is kind of streaky. So now I've got some blue on my paper. I can take some water and I can move it right up to that green. I'm not going to try to touch the green. I'm trying to avoid touching that green. Wah! Stay there. Okay. And I'm just taking the blue down about to here. All right. And I am just going to loosen it up with that water because it is ultra powerful. Powerful blue we have. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to give it a little more. Not a lot. And remember, don't let me see that white on the edge. Go all the way out to the edge. There we go. This is the way. All right. So I've got a blue sky. Very nice. All right. But we don't have mountains yet. We are going to use some purple for our mountains. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. Just watch first. You're going to go down to the green and you're going to make a purple line across the blue sky. You're going to just come around with this purple right here across the sky. All right, one blue purple line. Okay. And now you're going to create some shape with that purple. You're gonna color in some pointy, triangle-y shapes across your horizon line here. Okay. Give it a little more water. And I'm going to just give my mountains some color. And again, you might have room and have 1 or 2 mountains. You might have 4 or 5. It's really not a thing to have either or. And I'm going to take my purple again all the way down to that green line, just like that. Okay, let's turn this over. Well, you don't turn yours over because I'm afraid it might drippy drop. So I'm turning mine over. And what I want you to do is go back over with some purple and color in some of those mountains with a few streaks, and that's it. And what I have here is a field with some mountains in the back, okay? So finish this out, and then we're gonna let it dry on our mats, okay? And it'll be safe, but let it dry. Don't lift it, don't tilt it, don't move it. Yours will be upside down to you unless you spin your mat around. But I don't want you to smear your paint, okay? So that is what we're doing for today. So finish out that paint in our mountains and our field. And the next time we're going to add some flowers to that wonderful piece of art. So until then, see you on the next video in the next lesson. Bye, kindergarten.